My house, in the middle of the street.
When I pay my mortgage, I round up and divide in half. I pay half every other week. So my mortgage got picked up by another company when my mortgage company went out of business. To do what I was doing with the new company was $300 to enroll and an extra $40 each payment. Oh hell no. I spoke to my credit union and they had an auto pay that would pay my bills from my direct deposit free. So nearly a year goes by and I get one of those scary ass letters: you are in default on your mortgage. Unless we get X payment within 10 days of this letter, we will foreclose. I was astounded since I had never missed a payment and was actually paid a couple of months ahead. I spoke with their accounting department. It seems they couldn't accept half payments, only full payments, even though they had done so for a year, so the money had to sit unapplied until a full payment was accrued.
That made sense, except again, they got more than enough and it was always in there in full before the due date, so on the due date they should have just taken it and applied it to the mortgage. So further digging, the rep says to me, "Oh, by the way, we have $8,200 of unapplied funds in this account. What do you want to do with it?" "I'll pay my mortgage with IT." "Oh, we can't do that." So I had to get a check cut for $8,200, pay $45 for them to overnight it to me, take it to my credit union, cash it, pay $25 for a cashier's check, and pay another $45 to send the cashier's check back to them. I called relentlessly to see when it had arrived and had all kinds of postal tracking, signature confirmation, etc. Remember, I only had 10 days to get this shit straight.
So they get it and verify that it is applied to my mortgage and that there will be no foreclosure. The rep tells me, "Well, your next payment is due in 2 weeks and there will be penalties and late fees applied, so the amount is XYZ and we are raising your interest rate to nearly twice what it was before." No. All this is your company's fault. She says, "You knew these were the terms and conditions when you took out your mortgage with us." No. I didn't take it out with you. I took it out with another company and I was assigned to your company. "Well, don't be late with the next payment." No. I want to speak with a manager. So I finally get to speak to a manager and he wasn't much better. His only response, "Well, you can always go with another company, but good luck with that these days. So many foreclosures and your credit is not very good from missing so many payments." So I decided to take his advice. I contacted my credit union, explained everything, showed them their own payment transfers, and the mortgage statements showing the other company had received the money bi-weekly like clockwork. And the credit union took over my mortgage. I got a reduced interest rate and killed all the fees, penalties, and got the overpayment back. I applied it to the new mortgage payments, etc. So when a company acts like they have you over a barrel and tells you to try to go with someone else, do it. Edit. This still astounds me even after all these years. I can't imagine any other company, car loan, credit card company, etc., asking, "Hey, what do you want us to do with all this money sitting over here?" And not automatically concluding, "Oh yeah, let's apply it to the outstanding balance." Quote. And your credit is not very good from missing so many payments. You didn't miss a single payment. And if your credit score says you do, dispute it. These asinine idiots fucked up. You didn't.
Credit unions rule. I've banked with them since 1980 and I'll never go back to commercial banks. Name that company.
Yeah, they deserved to lose your business. Glad it worked out for you up.
The funniest thing is, they do not want a foreclosure. They just want extra fees. And the foreclosure risk is to scare you into paying them because, guess what? Foreclosure costs them a lot. This is behavior you'd want to report to the FTC, CFPB, and State Ag. Not unexpected of the Stagecoach gang, though. They seem to have taken more of their modern approach from the infamous outlaws robbing stage coaches than the actual security they were originally known for. I sent in an extra payment for my mortgage once and they called me to ask if I wanted it applied to the interest or the principal. Like, literally they were thinking some idiots are going to say interest in this situation. It's one step short of actually robbing me with a gun. I asked the person if they had to ask that and she said, with a sigh, yes. So I didn't go off on the rep, but holy crap, that should be illegal. Pay $45 for them to overnight it to me. Take it to my credit union. Cash it. Pay $25 for a cashier's check. And pay another $45. What the ass backwards fuck is this shit? I am in North Carolina and it is against state law to not let you make extra payments on a residential mortgage. You can pay as much extra as you want and you can't be charged a fee for doing so. Reminds me of my buddy paying off his student loans. He'd finally found a great job that paid quite well. He also sold a house and bought a cheaper one when he got the new job. So he took his extra money and asked his loan office what the total was left on the loan. And cut the check that day. 2 months later he's getting letters saying that he's behind in his payments. In between him sending the check and them cashing it, 1 more month of interest was added to his total. He got a few months of late fees and just that interest that was unpaid. My man was fuming after all the BS. Glad you managed to save yourself from this one. What a terrible company, business world we live in. This makes me glad Canadian banks aren't quite so evil. Sure, they are big businesses, but our regulations are a bit better and the one I am currently with has only been good to me for over 2 decades now. What astounds me is that they only gave you 10 days to come up with the money. I know in my state they have to give at least a month in addition to multiple late, no payment warnings before it even gets to that point. Then there's this jewel. Well, your next payment is due in 2 weeks and there will be penalties and late fees applied, so the amount is XYZ and we are raising your interest rate to nearly twice what it was before. Quote. They are already charging a late fee and raising the interest on a payment that was 2 weeks away? It honestly sounds like you could have taken them to court and easily won a nice settlement against them for violating the FCRA. Or whichever act it is. IANAL. This also reminds me of my very first mortgage. We had it set up through our bank to directly transfer from our checking to our mortgage account at the same bank automatically. A year after the mortgage started, we got a letter in the mail that they were getting ready to foreclose due to non-payment. It was like 9 p.m. Monday. So there was no way we could reach someone to talk about it. We got a call the next evening from the bank threatening the same thing. Me. The payments have been taken out of my account automatically every month. Where have they been going? It shows being paid to the mortgage. Oh. Well. It's only been paying against your principal but not the interest the amount is supposed to go for. The whole payment. You're short $8,000 which must be paid by Friday before foreclosure procedures start. Me. This is your bank's fault. I'd suggest finding someone to fix it. Otherwise, we'll transfer everything to another bank. Well, let me see what we can figure out. Long pause. Okay. It looks like we can transfer some of the money to the interest payments from the principal. You're all set. I do apologize for this issue. Please forgive the inconvenience. Me. Okay. 12 months later it happened again. Even though I had statements showing exactly how the payments were being distributed. I ended having to take the day off of work to show them the papers in person. There's nothing we can do. You can either pay the $8,000 or find someone else to service your mortgage. The next week, we had a new mortgage at another place that specifically did mortgages and had access to hundreds of lenders. APR went from 7.1% variable down to 3.1% fixed with no closing costs. I would not have paid a single cent more than I owed. Want to foreclose on my property? Fucking do it. I'll see you in court and make you pay for the damages you caused by fucking my credit. Our hospital would do that with payments. You get a bill for XYZ and you pay it in full? They'd apply the funds to whatever charges they wanted, even new ones you hadn't been billed for. I caught duplicate charges on multiple statements when I received a past due notice. Concerned because I had paid everything in full. I went over everything with a fine-tooth comb. When I went to the accounting department in person with a stack of paperwork and bank statements, their reply was, "Oh, we apply money however we see fit. We'll just write off your outstanding balance and you're paid in full." Huh? Is this why healthcare is so expensive? Is your title a madness reference? I'm guessing not, and it's just me that sees it. Glad you stuck it to them. You said you went to your credit union. From that point on I said to myself, please get a loan. Through your credit union, the only place I went to apply for a loan for my new, to me, car is my credit union. I love that I can just have them take the money out of this one sub-account. And I am hoping I'll be able to do the same thing when I buy a house. Congrats on showing the mortgage company who is boss. Banks are such shit shows. Years ago I had issues with a bank when one teller kept transposing the last 2 digits of our account and depositing our money in the wrong account. When I got tired of it and they asked why I was withdrawing all my money, I pointed at her and said, "Why don't you ask teller 18? I still remember her number after all these years. I know someone who had the opposite issue with a loan payment and a balance. They sold their house, and the bank decided to just pay off their car financing with part of it. A. That's not their call to make, and B. The car was at 0%. Why would anyone want to pay that off ahead of time? Apparently, stupid people shouldn't breed. And they shouldn't run banks. Looks like to me that they waited until you had accrued enough penalties to make it worth their time to reach out. Also waited until they had ruined your credit enough that you were stuck with them. I feel your pain on this. Except when we had it happen, we were rounding up on the amount paid. And the company didn't accept the payment because it was too much. Same situation. Started with one company. Then it got sold to another company. 3 months in a row this happened. Went to our local bank. Did a refinance. And got a lower interest rate.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Haircast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.